I know this is more like a welcome back for me. Um, I missed you guys. Um, well, before I get into what was going on and everything else like that and what I was trying to do, I just want to take a few minutes to thank my new subscribers. I know you guys like the shorter content video. I got more. Excuse me. Ooh, it's been a minute. Um, there's more short content to come. However, I wanted to give a little breakdown of what was going on and everything else like that. But once again, I want to thank the new subscribers. The view count for my last short it was dope to see those numbers. It's a little bit of climbing, so I'm happy about that. So, why didn't I release any new material lately? Well, it has to do with this topic that I want to get into because it's a little different topic because people are gonna see the title and then they're gonna wonder what I mean by it. So let's start with a couple of weeks back. So we're gonna go a couple of weeks back. Um, so obviously every single time what I try to do or my goal is to improve the channel, give you guys what you like. Like I said, this is one of the times where I take critique, whether it's good or bad. I take it, I switch it up, or I try to do something. So, actually, this is the first video where I have a new interface and I actually have a board where I'm still trying to figure out some of the technical difficulties on it, but I just really felt compelled to give you a topic. So, as I was building this new equipment and getting this new interface together, I had to get a new mic, as you can see. That's the one that everybody likes to use. Hopefully it's a better quality sound. I'm still working on the sound portion of it. With this new interface, there's things I could do, but I'm having issues with that, so I'm doing research and all of that kind of stuff. But where I got to the baseline where I could start record, Valentine's Day, I got really, really sick. Right now, I noticed this year I've been having more colds, more this, more that. Um, it almost seems like ever since I embarked on doing things for the channel, and obviously speaking is very important. I've been like losing my voice, getting cold, so it's hard for me to make material for obvious reasons. You got to have a voice to do this. But Valentine's Day, I got really sick. I had a really high fever. I couldn't talk. Um, it almost got to a point where the doctors were talking about admitting me into the hospital because the fever was so high. I was in and out. And of course, I said to myself, I said, damn, I figured out the equipment enough to actually make a go with a video. And the day that I wanted to do it, which was Valentine's Day, I got really sick. So I, that it was hard because obviously being on YouTube, the biggest part of doing videos like this is current events are driven with the material that I do. Obviously, because when you see my shorts, I do news articles, or if I do more of an intellect conversation, it's somewhat of current events. So I was bedridden, and all I could do is watch other creators and shout out to them because they kept me good. And one of my close friends, um, he he got into his situation. You know, I'm not gonna put his business out there. Hopefully, he watches, and because we had a conversation, and he was one of the people that gave me that shot to get out of bed, and because this is a person that actually influenced me telling my truth, and for him to go through something that, just to be there and support, be there during his time of trouble, even just being an ear, because situation could be different, it could be hard, but to him, keep your head up. We gonna get through this. We're gonna make it happen. Just because you get a bump in the road doesn't mean life is over, which is gonna bridge over to a conversation I had with a couple of young cats. So before I get into that, because that's gonna be the meat and potatoes of this topic, but obviously, shout out to my family. They held me down. You know, um, obviously being sick. Reached out to my family, talking to my mom, and my mom's like, "Yo, if you're not feeling it, you're not good. It's okay. Like, you two will always be there. You got this. The biggest thing is just to get better." So through all of that, it just watching my friend go through what he's going through, especially being so close to retirement, it really derailed it. But you know what? He's still gonna retire. He's still gonna make it. You're gonna be all right because you got a circle. And I realize how important a circle is. You know, like being sick, watching everything from the clouds. It was kind of like, how can I word it? I felt like I dropped out of the circle of everything that's going on. Like a lot of people didn't know that I was sick, and that's cool. Like that's one of those things because I'm one of those. I try not to get people worried. Because I and this is more my personal belief. I feel when people worry about you when you're sick, I think it keeps you sick. So I don't want too many people to focus or worry about me being sick. So I didn't really say nothing. That's why I didn't really post anything. Whatever. But um, this past week was pretty much my first week being back at work. Um, this is gonna be a little bit of a hard story, maybe for some people. Um, I don't talk about my job, what I do on a day to day, but the people that know me personally, the story I'm gonna tell, obviously I gotta leave out certain details for obvious reasons, but the details are not important for what I want to talk about. So, what I want to talk about is these young cats. They got into a really bad situation, you know, and somebody said, "Hey, give him a few minutes, talk to him because I think you because of how my background, how I grew up, things of that nature, being a military guy and changing my life for the better. even though I'm still striving to even be better than I already am. I said, maybe talking to him get a difference, because like, here's the thing about being YouTube, being a content creator. You got to keep your ear to the streets, because like, you get to a certain age, you don't want to be separated. You don't want to be removed from just life and understanding people. So as I was talking to these two young cats, and they were trying so hard to be hard, like, like, they didn't. They're young. They're teenagers, and it's like they wanted to cry, and they were trying to wipe their tears and say, "Yo, I can't cry," and I go, "Well," I asked them a real question. I said, "Well, you don't have no feelings, like." I was explaining to them, there's a time and place for everything. That you might not be able to cry in a certain situations, but to sit and hold all of it in, that's not healthy either. You know, and as I was talking to them, and because they were pretty much hanging out with their friends, and their friends got them into some bullshit. Short story shorter, right? And it's crazy how, because there's people that, there's young cats that you might look at them and think they don't have no hope. But I guess hearing this young man talk, him and his friend talking, it it moved me. And the reason why it moved me, because it's kind of like, when you try to do right, or you headed in the right direction, the devil be having a foot on a neck, or the devil has the foot on people's neck. And as I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm engaging with them at the same time, I'm looking inward, and I'm thinking, yo, that the devil's on my neck too. Like, as far as not creating content and things are like that. But the biggest thing is, it seemed like he wanted better. And people can debate it, right? We can debate it, because people get into nonsense and they're the product of their environment. But the biggest takeaways was, my mama told me not to cry, that I can't cry. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if your mom says that, I get it. Because there's times my mother said it to me. Like, don't cry, you can't cry, you got to man up. And some situations call for it. But these are kids, you know. These are young kids that, you know, one of them had their father in their life, but touch and go, and their relationship with their father was delicate, and they was getting into it a little bit. And what I was really explaining to him is that, you know, that, not all family dynamics are perfect. That you you have to do better for yourself. You have to level up for yourself. And I was saying to him that, if you, and this can go for anybody at this point, but this is what I was saying to him. If you are in a position to get a second shot at something that you messed up at, things of that nature, you take full advantage of it. You don't look back, because like him coming from this particular young cat being from the inner city, saying this is all I know, this is how I grew up, but I want better. I, I'm like, you know, the streets ain't got no love for nobody, and that's why I was explaining to him, that you sit here and you think you representing the street. There's other ways, like I was saying to him. There's other ways to represent. Like just because you from that environment doesn't mean you can't persevere. Doesn't mean you can't overcome your situations and be better. Like I was explaining to him, because this young cat, he's from the BX. Shout out to the BX. That you have people that are celebrities and stuff that make it, but not everybody can, excuse me, be a celebrity. But you just be a contributing member to society. That was the biggest thing I was explaining to him, and I said, you gotta be, you have to be well read. You gotta understand how the game out here works. You know, like, because I told him too. I said, for me, you know, I went the military route, and I know the military route is not for everybody. You understand what I'm saying? But I said, if you have an opportunity to plan something, map it out, and make it happen, that's what you do. But thought, you know, I just thought to myself that it was crazy how these parents raise their kids to be like, you can never ever cry. You always gotta be tough and hard and but it's kind of like, what do these parents do to make them that way? You didn't cultivate their mind. You didn't turn around and tell them this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it. Hmm. And even right now, cause I hope they do get a second shot, and I hope they took what I said to heart and really run with it and do something different, than what they were doing. And I said so many old school sayings, and they were just so engaged with what I was talking about. And I told them my age, and they're like, "Yo, you don't look your age. You talking to us like young cats, but like you got wisdom, but like you understand what we going through as young cats." And I said to him, I said, yeah, because just because I'm older don't mean that I never been a kid. Just because I'm older doesn't mean I never got into some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, the difference is that, you know, their parents played a role in the direction that they went into, and they seeked acceptance outside the home. And that's where the devil loves to lie, because, a lot of podcasters, they talk about intact families, how important it is for having a father, having a mother, having, just being intact and being a family unit. Like, they don't realize how important that really is. And when you leave these kids to their own devices, because what they want to do is they want to shove an iPad in these kids' faces, shove a phone, let the schools, let everybody else raise these kids. The devil loves that shit. And the reason why I say that is because, just like, you know, I just think that people, I think everybody's relationship with God and all of that stuff is very different, and that's not up for judgment. That's not up for me to say. Like, because my personal relationship is my personal relationship when it comes to religion. But I just felt that they had no direction, and all they were crying for is direction. We need to start listening to our kids. We out here talking about racist this, racist that. Our kids are the most unprotected group of people ever. Like, think about it. Like, they're left to their own devices, and they get into they make adult situations where they don't even have the capacity to even make that adult decision. Like, yo, these kids is 17, and the situation they're about to embark in is adult consequences. Like, and they didn't understand the complexity of the situation that they're in, and it's easy to dismiss these kids, because we all guilty of it. We dismiss these kids because we think there's no hope. They do goofy shit and dumb shit, but we don't realize that it takes a village to raise a kid, and what part are we in it? Now, some kids, you can't get through some of them, but some of them you can. Sometimes you just got to know when to do it. You gotta be able to read the room and read the situation to make that understanding and that discernment to do that. And and the reason why I titled the video that I titled it, because it's like, when you're heading in the right direction, that devil come around, he peep around the corner like this. Oh, wait a minute. What you doing? You trying to be positive? Oh no, we can't have that. Oh no. Or, you trying to be that millionaire, like, and you put in that work. Oh no. We gonna throw some debt your way. We're gonna make it so you can't do it. But I'm looking at the timing of the video, so I'm not trying to keep y'all too long, because I just wanted to give you a little something, a jewel for the nugget. Maybe I'll expand more on the topic if people want to talk about it, because I know it's random. It's not a current event thing like I normally talk about. But I guess it's something that everybody goes through every so often. They have something that knocks you down a couple of pegs. And I guess the overall message, as people would say, land the plane and all that, the overall message is you got to keep striving, you got to keep trying, and just got to keep that negative off balance. With that being said, I got more material coming. Want to thank you. Thank the new subs once again, because that's important. Still doing some equipment stuff. I don't know how the mic sounds. You let me know in the comments. I'm still working on it, so like, please, be a little easy on it. It's just a matter of me trying to get some things together, because of course I want to do nothing but better for this channel. But it feels good to be back. It's great to have my voice. Devil didn't hold me down. And we're just going to keep trucking. Thank you for your time.